welcome to tonight's coverage of the Wings and Wheels MX-5 Series, presented by GGT Energy Solutions. This evening, we're excited to bring you coverage of all the action from iRacing's virtual Road Atlanta, Braselton, Georgia. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight, Brian Laster, Robert Hill Jr. is working the controls as our producer. Once again, Wings and Wheels, for those who don't know, the series consisting of MX-5 cars in the midst of its inaugural season, with drivers consisting of both the virtual and the real-world variety, with the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup. Drivers so far have competed at both road courses and ovals throughout this season. And right now we're in the home stretch, which is 2 road courses, 1 oval left for the points-paying schedule. Braden, so far we've seen some interesting twists and turns, but tonight we go to a car and driver favorite, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Your thoughts on Road Atlanta for this combination here tonight?
Road Atlanta, definitely a fan favorite, like you mentioned. It's a track that has a little bit of everything. It's got a couple 90-degree turns. It's got some long straights. It's got some high-speed sweeping corners. It's got some S's even. So, I mean, this track, fan favorite both in the real world and the virtual world here. So, definitely want to watch these drivers here make the most of it.
And so far in this series, we've seen some interesting twists, but it's worth noting that there is a chance that points lead separates significantly tonight. Joshua Soto having a lead of nearly 300 points entering tonight over Deacon Greenfield. Joseph Burns, Keith Carpenter, Aaron Jeansonne rounding out the top 5 entering tonight. Soto, out of those, the only at the racetrack tonight. So a chance to grow the points lead for your points leader, who's been the fastest around on property so far.
Yeah, Steve Soto there, pretty significant lead over Greenfield. He's been absolutely perfect basically all season long. 3 wins on the season, average start of 2, and average finish of 2 as well. So he's been the man to beat. But let me tell you, it's been a while since he's found victory lane. You got to look all the way back to Mid-Ohio on August 1st.
There's a chance that can change tonight, though, when it comes to his account. We'll see what happens for Soto in this series and for this race here tonight. Now, of note, qualifying is complete already for these drivers here tonight at the facility. We'll turn that direction here next. So, let's talk about this field here tonight. 3 cars have entered tonight's race. Joshua Soto, Sally Mott, and James Watson. Joseph Burns is not at the facility. So, obviously, smaller size tonight, but a lot to talk about with Wings and Wheels, especially some of the drivers like Aaron Jeansonne getting ready for the finale here at this track next week. What are your keys, first of all, to making sure you have a good race, even with the field size tonight?
Well, see, a key aspect of Road Atlanta is the walls aren't very close down the majority of the track. You see the track map, there are over 12 corners, like I mentioned, a couple uphill S's, some long straightaways, some long passing opportunities there, and then a handful of 90-degree corners here and there to round out the corner. So the big part, though, is off tracks are going to be key here as far as not having any, because it's basically grass once you get past the front straightaway here. I mean, you're talking almost 100 feet in some corners of this pure runoff, where if you hit the grass a little bit, I mean, you're going to take a while to get situated and get back going again. And if you somehow find the wall, that's going to be a different story.
Yeah, it might be an interesting one for some of these drivers. It's worth noting Soto and Mott were working with Joe in final practice to help Mott seem to learn the track. Soto did record the fastest time in final practice, the 1:35s. Qualifying speeds went down by a full second for this session here tonight. So, with that in mind here, it's been an interesting season throughout. Lots of different characters making starts. While the podium may be guaranteed for this race tonight, it's been an interesting season as a whole.
Yeah, definitely for sure. We mentioned Joshua Soto's dominance early season, won 3 in a row, and hasn't seen victory lane since. But despite all that, he's been consistent and been a points leader throughout this entire season. And you see just how many of these corners are a little tricky to navigate too wide while you're pacing. Imagine taking them too wide at speed, and that's going to be the fun part here to watch tonight.
Especially since this is one of the driver favorites when it comes to this combination. It's a drafting track, after all. It's going to be hard to break away even with this field size. There's a lot of opportunity down this straightaway tonight to slingshot your way to the front.
These straightaways definitely pretty large in size. I mean, they run a ton of stuff here at Road Atlanta. And speaking of running stuff here, we mentioned, I don't know, we did mention, I know we talked about it in the pre-race show, but Petite Le Mans is next week, and then the Mazda MX-5 series will be there as a support class. So I know a lot of these drivers are going to be participating in that. Shari Mott, for example, the pink car there, second in line on the front row, will be participating. So I know she's out here to get some seat time, get some experience.
We have you with us here on Maconi Entertainment for coverage of Wings and Wheels. 3 drivers set to attack the track tonight. We're already zipping and zooming. We're underway from Road Atlanta. And Sally Mott goes right into line. Joshua Soto already under attack as Mott doesn't want to give up easily. Wants to lead, wants to be able to control the pace like they did in practice.
Mistakes, you can't have any here. We mentioned we go off track, it can be detrimental to your race. Joshua Soto playing it easy, playing it calm, playing it collected through the S's for the first time. And Shari Mott with about a 3-car length advantage so far.
Yeah, and that's going to potentially shrink. Very likely will actually shrink, should say, around this track as this night progresses. We'll see a lot of fluctuation as James Watson nearly losing the draft already. He's having some struggles. He was the lowest out of everybody in terms of qualifying and in the practice. Looking to turn things around for the race here as the top 2 make a break for it.
Yeah, see Shari Mott and Joshua Soto pulling away from Watson, and we mentioned the draft's going to be a huge part of these straightaway runs. That's exactly what Soto's been able to do here, pull up Watson already out of the draft bubble.
Here's what I was just discussing. This is the prime opportunity up to turn 10 here today. Gonna run up to the front. Soto content to just ride and then work from there, it seems.
See, you gotta be careful through the S's here as well. Very tricky. Very tight there. Don't want to push the situation and make a mistake. You can see the runoff there. One mistake, you're missing the corner by a half mile, it seems.
So your front runners work together to try and stay in a line for the next 50 minutes of this race here today. Hot track conditions for those curious, by the way, already at 130 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. 78 air temp. This is on iRacing Day, May 15, 2024, in session today. And that can provide some slick conditions for the grip levels in these MX-5s, so to speak.
Yeah, they're not really even staying on the track half the time in the corner exit. Side by side, though, for the lead. Joshua Soto in the 07 looking for the lead here. He was able to get it around the outside.
From the high side. Given a lot of space, Soto is right now, though, way outside up through turn 7. They reset back in a line here. Soto making it an interesting one so far. Last time, wanted to work together. This time, not so much. He goes side by side for turn 10's run up.
Yeah, I've noticed James Watson's been kind of more in touch with the pack this time. When he fell off a couple of tenths in a side-by-side battle for lead, going to help him out a little bit. No draft going to either driver. They're dead nuts even going in the corner. Shari Mott has the inside line. Joshua Soto sticks on the outside, still able to hang in there, pulls a crossover by virtue of the line switch, but Shari Mott going to persevere.
Good defense so far from Mott in this battle here tonight. As they continue to fight things out just about 5 minutes through. Next time by on the board. So, touching upon things as these two continue to fight it on out here, Braden. Aaron Aaron Jeansonne, one of the drivers not here tonight, has been one of the front runners this season. He's had some good success as of late entering the finale for the MX-5, to say the very least. Most recently this week in Sonoma.
Yeah, talking about Aaron Jeansonne there, finding a handful of victory lane. There's was, I believe, the Porsche Sprint Challenge North American Series. So Aaron Jeansonne out doing what he does best, and that's getting a checkered flag.
And it's important to remember that a lot of these drivers race in potentially multiple series, not just the one. In the case of Soto, he races here with the MX-5s in this campaign. He also was a part of those who just finished in the Toyota GR Cup North America for its esports championship, where he was one of the drivers known for having a hard time finishing the pass. That's becoming relevant right now in this battle side by side, isn't it? More side by side. Soto looking to try and finish the pass. Bought faster from the outside.
I think that's just a combination of these lower horsepower cars. Remember, these Mazda Miatas, they're not very powerful. Looking at the statistics of this car, only 181 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. Very small tires too. I mean, I think they're on an 8-inch, maybe a 10-inch wide tire. So I mean, they're not a racing slick per se that you'd see at their short track. Which again, this isn't a short track, like a late model car either. This car is very nimble, very light. It's meant to turn left and right. So no downforce effects here, no spoilers, no fancy underbody. It's all about wheeling and dealing. And right now, Sally Mott is wheeling and dealing to the best of her ability, and it is showing. That's James Watson also has caught up to the back of this pack a little bit, and within a second now.
Watt's doing a very strong job in this race right now, and this is, with everything going on, really held them back to the point where Watson's now within range to be able to battle again. You can tell that Soto giving a fair amount of space on these corners. There's a big bobble and some side-by-side again.
Yeah, side-by-side for what seems to be the 10th time in the past 3 minutes. Soto's going to have a little bit of that advantage, get some momentum out of the corner. Watson getting a little bit of draft as well back there in third. See who's able to hang it in the longest. And they're going to have Joshua Soto with that advantage. Watson's out a little bit, pushes Sari Mott wide. Sari Mott now with the inside.
Soto looks like he's going to get a chance to clear. A little bit slower on rotation for the final corner. Mott has the better boost from the left side of the racetrack to your right on screen as they switch that camera back over. Still side by side as Soto just about got the edge of the stripe this time. And Watson is now bundled into all this. Watson in the popcorn seat. How they're starting to fight side by side, tooth and nail.
Yeah, remember these drivers all sitting here within a second of one another, and they have been pretty perfect this entire run. No mistakes by any driver, no slip-ups. And Watson's definitely kind of learning by the edge of his seat. And Sari Mott playing the best defense I think we've seen this entire season from any driver.
Real quick way to touch upon the Wings and Wheels Foundation. Of course, touched upon this throughout the season. One of those that strives to identify young talented drivers and help place them in a supportive environment led by professionals. Achieved a high level success in the motor racing industry. We've seen throughout this season a lot of those drivers with connections making starts in this series and coming out to support what is for them great cause in terms of Wings and Wheels, as you see bump drafting for Soto.
You gotta do what you gotta do to hang in there. I think Watson's starting to put the pressure on both these drivers to try and pull away as they've seen the gap right now. Boy, now with James Watson out of Ohio, they've seen how much time they've lost because they've allowed James Watson to close up and actually take a look for second place.
Hey, they're having a blast trying to fight it out, aren't they? Well, midway through the fuel runs, just about expecting at least a pit stop possibly. We've seen that be the case throughout the season. Soto showing his hand, wants to poke. Mott, once again, has the better boost.
Yeah, Soto wants to poke and trying to prod. trying to get that lead away from Sally Mott and just hasn't been able to do so. Sally Mott absolutely slinging this thing inside, outside, doesn't matter. Playing the best defense she can. That's one thing about this track is, you go to, a short track and you're able to get on the inside and you have the inside advantage. Here there's so many left, right, through the curves, through the final set of corners, where they're never going to have the inside line for more than 2-3 consecutive corners.
And yet again, Soto backing up his corners, wins side by side, looking for a chance to be able to poke his way ahead. Looks like he's got it. Joshua Soto to the lead for the first time.
A rare mistake there by Sally Mott. Stick the left rear in the dirt. That's going to allow Joshua Soto to slip right on by. Not able to pull away. Watson still back there in third. Sally Mott now second. Joshua Soto leads the field, but not for long. Here comes Sally Mott working around the outside.
That showcases how strong the draft can be here, especially if you want to push. Mott inside. Soto turning up the wick on the outside. It's to the right side of the racetrack on his side of the pavement. Able to keep it alongside for the drag race.
Yeah, once again, we mentioned the back and forth corners, back and forth advantage. As far as having the inside line, Mott washes a little bit wide. They're able to keep it on the track for the most part. But Joshua Soto now with the inside advantage.
No, not able to fully clear though. Sally's been really good at defending these battles so far. As she retakes the race lead, this has been impressive from her.
Yeah, very much so. Already a fifth of the way through this one. Fastest lap of the race, too, goes to Sally Mott, who has managed to lead all but a couple laps here. So something, too, to see that fastest lap of 1:37.434. The next fastest lap is Joshua Soto at 1:38.3, so he is 9/10 of a lap faster. Soto now working around the outside. A little bit loosey, it looks like. Drifting it around there almost.
Yeah, all the way in the grass goes Soto, in fact. He's not afraid to use all the off tracks, isn't he?
No, not at all. He said, I paid for the track and wanted to use the whole track. And that's going to force him to fall back to third. James Watson now taking advantage of that bobble by Soto. Soto playing the bump draft game.
Yeah, back into a line they go. Bit of a buffer between second and third. Watson's been deeper on the brakes than most here in this race. He goes shallow and defensive. That's going to cost him time to Mott. Sally Mott still at the fastest lap of the race, for those curious, in the 1:37s for this field. They fell back to the 1:39s last time by with the side-by-side. So now how does Watson try to approach this? Because, well, you can't lose the podium, but you can for sure lose the car if you send it wrong.
I said that you can't win the race right here, but you can definitely throw away any chance at winning it for sure. You can lose it pretty easily here. And I think they're going to have to use the draft, work with Soto a little bit, go catch Sally Mott, because they've allowed her to pull away to an over 6/10 of a second lead right now. And she's absolutely flying through these S's. And I think Soto and Watson will have to work together here as the gap is only widening, it seems.
Yeah, Soto's actually losing ground with Watson, interestingly enough. As we take a look at the speed right now for Sally Mott. Carrying good velocity in the heart of these corners before the hard braking sections, before you have to drop to about 45, 50 miles an hour, then back onto the loud pedal full throttle for the straightaway. It's a track that requires a lot of nuance to get around.
Definitely a very finicky track, a very special track. You got to be calm, you got to be gentle, but you got to be able to push the situation. You need to find speed, and we mentioned just how light and nimble these cars are, and they're made to take these corners very well. But the straightaways, they lack the horsepower. But Josh Soto trying to make the most of it right now, using the bump draft with Watson. Actually gained about 2 or 3 tenths there.
Starting to break away a touch more. We'll see how long it holds with this being a drafting track. Still 37 minutes to work with on the clock. Remember, Sally, a rear-wheel racer for her part as well. Part of that busy schedule to be able to race in this style of racing.
Yeah, definitely one of the more experienced drivers in the real world and the sim world here. Bobble by Watson looked like he's going to lose a little bit of time on exit. Forces Soto to check up, and they're losing a ton of time here when they should be gaining.
Yeah, they're not gaining right now, and this is not great in terms of working together with how they've been able to play things so far. But get back to touching upon things with the race leader. They've had a lot to cheer about this season. Some good runs over the summertime, especially in Canada. Had a 6th place run, in fact, in Canada. That was a career best finish at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And here today, she's in the lead and still dictating the tempo. The gap is shrinking with the trap, though.
Yeah, see the gap now within a quarter of a second. They've got the run, they got the momentum. James Watson looking for the lead. He's got the inside and he's got the help.
Side by side, Morgan, or rather Watson, able to jump on into the race lead. Your contact off the corner exit. Soto letting them fight as they go side by side yet again. Mott keeps the lead lap. Soto retakes second as Watson lets them go.
All 3 cars now within about 2/10. Sorry, Mott able to hang on. Soto's going to use Watson there, get the momentum, get around him. Still second, and going to go for his lead. Got to get through these S's, and they still got 35 minutes or so left of racing. Oh, looks like Mott went a little wide there through the grass, and she does.
Yeah, that was a corner cut too, so she'll have to let the time go back, so to speak. Give up the time gained is the words trying to put together. And she is not taking the time to do it yet. Now she does. Gonna have to be aggressive on the time bleed. So that's gonna lose her a lot of time with that corner cut.
And you don't want to get one of those right before a straightaway because you want to be full throttle, and it's hard to lose that time to gain on a straightaway, especially full throttle for the most part, it seems. Or you can give it away easy, but you're going to lose the draft, lose the momentum, lose a ton of time very easily as well.
While they go, Watson for the race lead.
Help from Mott. Big push from Sorry Mott, going to push James Watson to the lead. Not able to get clear of Soto. Now he is. See if he takes the proper line through the corner. He is going to come in front of Soto and get the right line. James Watson, their leader.
Oh, and he slides the tires, though. That just about checked everybody up. But it's Watson going to be leading for the first time here. No. Instead, Mott gets the lead lap as Watson took the wide way. 3 wide. Soto trying to have some fun. Watson wants nothing of it.
Yeah, all that, James Watson takes the lead. Going to fall back to third. Side by side, though. Sorry Mott in the pink car. Now on the inside of the line here, Joshua Soto falls back in line. James Watson gaining a little bit more.
Yeah, all so aggressive when it comes to how this is all going. But hey, that's all you can really say when it comes to a race like this. It's about having fun. That was not a fun moment for Soto. He hit the gravel trap for a moment as he peeks to the inside.
Yeah, Seamal able to hang on once again. Soto peeking to the inside of the corner, not quite able to stick his nose in there. Trying to be a little bit aggressive on the turn, a little bit aggressive on the bank, and now gonna have a great opportunity here to get a run, get some momentum, and maybe make a pass.
This is going to be an interesting one for the final laps in this race, I will say. How will they play it? How will they race it? Better yet, how will they set up a move? Right now, it seems as though Mott has figured something out to be able to get a little bit faster even without the draft, with those getting a slingshot alongside in runs like this one.
Yes.
Although Soto just about got the edge this time.
Soto going to have the inside advantage for a couple corners. You know, it's going to allow him to pull ahead for a half a car length, and now going to clear himself off the front bumper of Mott. Mott gets a run, gets momentum on the high side, gets a little bit of help from James Watson, not a whole lot, but a little bit of an air bubble there, but Joshua Soto is still hanging on. Side by side once again, deep chin by Sorry Mott, trying taking the lead.
Your door-to-door contact, Able to get single fouled out yet again. Keeping the energy levels pretty high, but the constants remain the same. Sally does not want to lose this lead.
No, not at all. She's hanging on for dear life here, and it's showing. They've pulled away a little bit of a bubble from James Watson. I'm starting to think the drivers realize they need the help from Watson. He doesn't quite have the speed to hang on to the lead. He had the speed to get up there, though. But these drivers, they need their help. If you're Joshua Soto right now in second, to go get the draft, get a little bit of a bump draft going maybe, and go get the lead.
But how early is too early to take the lead in a race like this, as Watson's lost the draft again? At this point, it's almost like size each other up to see what's going to work for later, if anything, right now.
That's very hard to get a large gap over second place, and second place is making mistake after mistake after mistake, which we have not seen very many of tonight. And, we're only 20 minutes out of a 50-minute race. There's still half an hour to go for these drivers. Fuel, I'm sure, will become an issue at some point. It's been an issue in every race this season. We'll have to kind of wait and find out, and maybe it's not an issue. Who knows? Maybe they got 2 or 3 tanks in their cars this week that we just didn't know about, but I don't think you want to be leading until you're coming to the checkered flag, because you have these 2 long straightaways in the final-ish part of the lap that would definitely allow some great opportunity.
Those opportunities, you have to be smart when it comes to taking them in this sort of a situation as well. But right now, your race leader again is Soto. James Watson taking a slowdown. It's going to cost himself all chances to keep it up with the draft unless there's a big battle again. All that being considered, these two are the most up-to-date when it comes to the speed on what they need to do here today. That work and practice is paying off.
And they definitely don't need the draft quite like James Watson does to be able to hang in there. See Watson falling back a little bit, still within that 2 second, right now outside of it bubble. So he needs these two to get side by side of Soto there, and leading Sally Mott now, but not quite able to pull away. So I think that the draft is very crucial here to see James Watson not really able to hang on, kind of lost the draft that was helping him. And now, I don't think Joshua Soto will be able to pull away as Sally Mott now looking for the lead.
Side by side again. To the lead again goes Mott. No problem. And near contact with the switchback. Mott in the grass.
And Mott goes through the grass, has to slow down a little bit, loses momentum, but it doesn't hurt her run too bad. Looks inside for a second, gets right back in line behind Soto. You're going to have another shot at this lead. Runs a little bit of a tighter line. Gets a great run to get some small draft here.
And I still think they might have to think about when they're going to have to come in for fuel in a race like this. There is that possibility of a pit stop to shake things up. New race leader, by the way. Mott just took away the race lead again.
I see James Watson caught up within a second and 2 tenths or so. Now falls back to just inside the 2 second window now, just barely hovering around there. But Sally Mott has a lead through the S's here, trying to pull away from Joshua Soto, not able to, just thanks to that draft. That draft is the almighty and the all-powerful. We've seen it time and time again this season. Soto going to use it and try to build a run here.
I squared things away. It's the key word. Once again, they look to settle on in to this race.
Trying to kind of get comfortable at this point. James Watson loves these two battling side by side because it's allowing him to make gains ever so slightly. All he needs is one mistake for both drivers, and if he can gain a second, a little over a second, get within that draft bubble, he should be good to go. But you mentioned those pit stops are going to be fun to watch because it's very easy for the race to go wrong in a pit stop here.
Should be straightforward. Just take enough fuel, get to the end of the race. It's just going to be the matter of, do they have that calculation down to a T here today? We'll have to see.
Definitely a big calculation. Thankfully, iRacing has the auto fuel feature, so it does the math for them, took the hard part out. but you gotta be able to time it right. You gotta slow down. You gotta, use your pit limiter without speeding on entry, and just hope you don't get any kind of penalty. And a big thing too to watch is, all these guys can take tires. Is Sally Mott gonna take, left sides, right sides? Kind of depends. I don't see her taking only 2 tires versus, Joshua Soto taking 4. I think Rieger taking none or 4. So it depends how long the fuel takes, as well as Watts has already fallen outside of this picture now.
Under green, you can lose a lot of time if you take the tires, though. That's the risk if you take tires.
Definitely a big picture to think of as far as that fuel window. Come up on the halfway mark within a minute or so. So I imagine pit stop soon.
We'll see if that indeed becomes the case here pretty soon. Side by side yet again for the lead. Soto getting the edge again down the straightaway. Mott has been drawn to the left side of this racetrack for this complex all race long on the defense. Once again, gets good defense to be able to get the rotation down out of the corner.
Yeah, side by side for a split second through the corner. Sally Mott leads by a quarter of a car. I think not even that. Soto trying to stick his nose inside and not quite able to get the run he needs.
As we come up to the halfway mark this time around, 25 minutes down, 25 complete. Pit stops are coming up. You're watching Wings and Wheels and its MX-5 series presented by GGT Energy Solutions. We'll take a step aside for a moment. Racing continues after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
The battle continues up front between Mott and Soto. Welcome back, everyone, to Wings and Wheels. Justin Prince alongside Braden Laster, Robert Hill Jr., our producer here tonight from Road Atlanta. These two have kept up the fighting all throughout this run, but they've also ditched James Watson by 8 seconds. Watson struggling now at this portion of the race. He'll need a miracle to close up right now, but how things have gone so far.
The way these two are racing up front, I wouldn't be surprised to see an incident between the two that allows Watson to close up. But so far, it's been pretty clean racing as Sally Mott barely holds the advantage. Now settled with an inside line, and I mean, they're pretty much dead nuts even at any given point of this race.
They've been racing respectfully. That's the main thing. They've been giving each other space. They haven't been squeezing too hard. They haven't had any contact either. Really no contact this entire race. They've played this race cleanly.
That has been everything basically perfect. I mean, no major mistake that's cost them more than a couple tenths here and there. I mean, a couple off tracks, but on a road course race, and they're going to have that. I actually made my road course debut a couple weeks ago at Watkins Glen in the Arkham Menard Series, first ever road course of any kind outside of a figure 8 race. So that was definitely fun and exciting. And you know, these drivers, they make it look easy on iRacing. Even on iRacing, it's difficult to get those, you know, tents down. Soto is basically off tracking it.
A bit of a moment there for a second. Still able to keep it on the racetrack near bumper-to-bumper contact this time. And overall, you still have Watkins Glen, you have Martinsville left on the season. Two very different racetracks, to say the least, to determine your series end.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a fun one to watch. Very unique, and you know, that Martinsville too. That's a big talking point because you mentioned, you know, the series has the real life races of the Mazda MX-5 series, and then the real life mod is the MX-5 series. Obviously, going to Martinsville to end out the season. So yeah, it's gonna be a couple real life and virtual storylines to watch.
Yeah, it's crazy again how that all really started from really Moon Car, from when it comes to the races, being able to run at the paperclip. It's become a charity race, 24-hour race as well. It became a real endurance race at 500 miles on iRacing this year. The paperclip and this combination of car has really drawn a lot of attention to it for that race coming up in real life.
I know you got a lot of individuals involved. I know Dale Jr., Ward Burton definitely helped those guys out with the Mazdas at Martinsville. Now that's a race, and you mentioned the Moon Car every winter or so, every November, December. Excuse me, I'm just on one tonight, I guess. He has a Moon Car and Moonhead. They have a 24-hour charity race for Toys for Tots that they do, and it kind of inspired that whole ordeal. And I soloed that race actually in 2022. I believe it was like 3,500 laps by myself over the span of 24 hours, and I will hopefully not be participating in that anytime soon in the real world or the virtual.
And that's wild. We've seen 24-hour charity race stints before where you have no driver changes like that, but that paperclip is something else, more than 3,000 laps. Eventually, that would break the iRacing lap counter, possibly. So, 19 minutes to work with here. Soto's starting to flex his speed muscles here. And Mott is starting to pile up the mistakes all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely falling back a little bit. See the gap there. Biggest gap it's been for the lead all race. Now over a second. As Watson in pit lane, so might be a sign to come as we might be able to see Joshua Soto and Shiny Mott come down pit lane. I think Watson might have parked it, actually.
We have 2 cars left. 2 cars. I'm not sure what to say other than these two, depending on what happens here, could put on a good show.
I'm liking their podium odds.
Hey, top 2 steps to the podium are locked in. That's a sign of good progress.
Yeah, definitely got that top 5 run going there for Shiny Mott and Joshua Soto. Definitely the ones to beat so far. And I think without James Watson there, we talked about how he didn't really have the speed to go up and, you know, win or necessarily lead a ton of laps. He had the speed to help decide the leader. I think that's exactly what's happening here. Shiny Mott doesn't have anyone to really help bump draft, push draft with. So he's kind of falling back here. I think if the positions were swapped, I think it could very easily, though, be Joshua Soto the car falling back without the draft.
So, to confirm a situation for James Watson, who apparently has 0 luck for tonight, his computer crashed. That's why he's no longer in the race. Joshua Soto almost cut the corner. That's why his lead just shrunk. So
hugely, over a second.
Yeah, Mott's got a huge head of steam here. And elects to go for the race lead yet again, like the opening lap. Takes the lead back again.
It's really anyone's race. So the small mistake and a rare mistake by Joshua Soto allowed Shiny Mott to close up over a second and a half on a couple corners. And not just that, but take the lead. I see both these drivers using the off track to their advantage, cutting the corners a little bit, dipping the right sides and left sides below the apex, and maximizing the most of their turning potential there.
Yeah, right now, these two will not give up. And that's been one of the main mottos of this season. Don't give up in this style of racing. We haven't seen too much in terms of giving up so far.
I mentioned maximizing the turn and this and not dipping below the apex. I made that road course start. I talked about that. I'm a road course driver now, JP. I can use these terms. Right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm intelligent.
Side by side again. And yet again, Soto to the race lead. And talking about wings and wheels, again, let's touch upon your experiences with the organization as, again, the side-by-side builds up. Rainbow Hill doing a lot of work in the most recent years with the organization. Right now, currently assisting with the Hurricane efforts. Your thoughts on wings and wheels and the efforts put in as an organization in your experience?
They help out a ton of individuals, and the whole thing is they love to help young drivers advance to the next level in their careers. And a big part of racing nowadays is, typically as you move up, the common saying is you got to add a zero to what costs to pay to play. So if you're spending $1,000 on go-karts, you want to go run a Miata, well, expect to pay $10,000. You want to go run an Indy next car, expect to pay $100,000. That's kind of how the saying goes a little bit. And wings and wheels help basically combat those costs and help drivers get recognized based on their talent and advance based on their talent. There's a lot of drivers that in nowadays economy, nowadays racing economy as well, especially, that probably could be an IndyCar or NASCAR or an IMSA or Mazda MX-5 and really show their talent, but they're just not able to because they don't have a big checkbook, and the Wings and Wheels Foundation is a huge part of combating that.
And these drivers you see here are part of some of those efforts, you could argue, in terms of trying to get the attention as well. It takes a lot of work to be competitive, as you just said. It takes a lot of work to be able to get those opportunities once you do get them. And it definitely is helpful with the assist of wings and wheels to be able to have that boost in your repertoire.
Yeah, definitely. They work with a ton of drivers, from Trey Burke, who we've seen quite a bit here tonight, Silver Crown driver. He's done a ton of stuff with Indy Next, open wheel, road course stuff, and making open wheel, Silver Crown. And I know next year's on to some much bigger and better things and working his way up. But no, Jason Alexander, they help out a lot in the Arch Menards platform. I've had the honor of racing at some time or two. Aaron Jeansonne, we talked about him, just won, out there in the Porsche Sprint Challenge North America Series there at Sonoma, swept the weekend, I believe 3 wins in a row, back to back. Eric Howe, a driver we've seen quite a bit, USF 2000 driver there. So they do a ton to help out a handful, and those aren't their own drivers. They've helped out, so many more drivers on and off and on and off again. So I know they're opening their applications up, I believe, in November for the 2025 season. So if you are a young up-and-coming driver, do you think you got what it takes, and unfortunately just don't have that checkbook with a comma and a lot of zeros, check out Wings and Wheels, teamwwf.org. And just looking to maybe help out their cause. If you've been there before, you can donate to their individual drivers or to their mission today.
Absolutely. Important to mention with that window coming up, absolutely. Interesting enough, these drivers have been able to keep going on their fuel strategies so far. No duck downs yet. You have to wonder how long that's going to be the case here for these drivers as we come up to the final 10 minutes or so coming up here, more side by side.
See Joshua Soto work on the inside now, going to swap back to the outside, and that's the virtue of the course. And side by side, it's been this entire race basically, and I really don't know who's been a better driver. Soto's been able to get up front, but the biggest lead between these two, but he's also made the bigger of the mistakes, and that's what's costed that lead multiple times.
It's going to be interesting which one's going to get the edge here. No talking before the race, you thought it would be Soto. There's a good chance Mott takes the win for the first time this season here.
Like I said, it is literally dead nuts even. I mean, side by side, the majority of this race, I think most laps led definitely goes Sally Mott. She's been the most impressive as far as being on the offense and on the defense. But as far as being stats-wise, the better driver, it's definitely been Sally Mott. But I think it can go either way here.
It very well go either direction, absolutely. Still, a lot of laps to work with on this racetrack between these two, though. And talk about the efforts with Wings and Wheels. Believe they're actually hiring at the moment. You were talking about before tonight.
I'm going to have to double check real quick, but they do have a posting on Indeed there in their Indianapolis area. Looking for a marketing coordinator. So if you happen to have an experienced resume in marketing and you want to go work, I believe it's a part-time gig. I'm not 100% sure, but you can go check out the listing yourself. $15 an hour in today's economy. That's a fantastic gig for a part-time job there. Just something that you kind of do on the side. Or it could be a full-time gig, and you're able to sit there and work your way into the lovely community that is the Wings and Wheels Foundation. So go check out their Facebook, Wings and Wheels Foundation. You got a beautiful logo. It's a bird with wings. It says Wings and Wheels Foundation. It's a very, very lovely logo and website. But hey, you can go be the marketing director if you want. Coordinator. I'm sorry, marketing coordinator, not director. But you might become the marketing director one day. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. 10 minutes to go. So, all bets are off amongst these two in terms of what we may see here. What do you try at this point to set things up for the final minutes? What do you want to test, if anything, at this point?
I mean, how this race is going to run for the final couple minutes here. You've had 40-plus minutes to really get the hang of it. You know how important the draft is. And I don't think you're really going to have the drivers pushing it, just mainly staying there in that second place like Sally Mott is right now and getting the draft. I don't think you want to be the leader when it comes to the last lap on the last straightaway. Sally Mott trying to take the lead right now, though. But I think you're able to get second, get the draft, and just try to build a huge run in the final set of corners. A big part right here is go 90-degree left-hander, and then a quick right-hander right back at another 90-degree or so corner. That is going to be crucial there. But I don't really know if you want to be the first car or the second car in line here on the last lap.
Yeah, that's a great question for later on here. Soto this time getting the lead lap. And for Ray Mulvihill, just so happens to be his birthday tomorrow, Braden.
Yeah, I'm about 98% sure that's the case, according to Facebook. So I'm going to have to trust Facebook and assume that Ray put his profile in correctly. But I'm sure he's like 28 or something. Happy 28th, maybe 29th birthday to Ray Mulvihill. Totally not any older than that. Once again, Ray has done a fantastic job putting this league together. Him and his wife, Bree, do a fantastic job with the Wings and Wheels Foundation. They're just a part of the entire system of gears and cogs that flow together like a smooth-oiled machine of making everything go and happen and work so smoothly. So tonight, though, being smooth on the wheel, especially when it matters most, not all night, but in the closing couple minutes here, has been Joshua Soto.
Indeed, with this race right now. 5 estimated laps to go when we get to the stripe, by the way. Soto, he's had a very dominant season, hasn't he?
Very. We mentioned, though, it's not been as dominant as we're used to. Won the first 3 races in a row out. We were sitting there talking for a while. Is anyone other than Joshua Soto going to win? I think he might have even missed the race or 2, still able to hang on to that points lead. Oh!
Mott needs to pit. There it is. Pit stop time. And Mott goes for the undercut.
This might be the race-winning move. We might have spoke too soon as the gap there was about a second or so before she came down pit lane. It's going to be interesting to watch who makes up the most time on pit lane with the undercut. Sally Mott will have the advantage of pitting first.
And we'll see if she's able to get the splash in rather than go with the tires. Remember, the time difference could come into play with the tires. She's taking tires.
Going to see if that's what cost her. I mean, at this point, there's only 4 or 5 laps left in the race, so Joshua Soto can come and just top off on fuel, not take tires, and I think you'll make up the difference there. Sally Mott, I think, is going to lose a ton of time just taking the tires. They're finally off pit lane by about 37 seconds back.
Took 2 tires. Interestingly enough on the call. Just left sides. How are those going to help? The left side tires, if anything.
I mean, looking at the layout, there's a lot of heavy right-handed or heavy speed right-handed corners. They're going to put a ton of pressure on the left sides. Or maybe the fuel just happens to coincide where they're able to take 2 tires with the amount of time you'll be taking fuel. So that might have been a might as well call. You mentioned, turn 1 especially is a higher speed right-hander than you have the turn 6 and 7, the short shoot there. Joshua Soto on pit lane needs 17 seconds. He needs to beat that. That's what Sally Mott's time was. As far as being in the pit stall, he's going to lose a lot more getting on pit lane here to see it's slow pit speed here.
Pit stop delta 17.9 seconds in the box for Mott before. Let's see how long Soto goes. Doesn't look like there's any motion for the jack here. Looks like no tires is indeed the call.
See the difference. Look at the time, 15 seconds, 16 seconds, 17.17. So I like Sally Mott's call there because pretty much even. She's going to come out almost side by side with Joshua Soto. And she's going to have some fresher left side tires as well.
An interesting call from Mott to be able to try and take the tires and save some time there. But it's still Soto with that entry with the advantage.
Yeah, the gap there definitely a lot closer than what it was. And we're going to see Soto start to struggle a little bit on these these right-handers. And you see the time being gained by Sally Mott. She's back in it just under 5 minutes ago, and Sally Mott has played this pit strategy perfectly. She's looking for the lead.
Side by side for the point. There goes Mott to the race lead as Soto drops back to second now. Looks to reset. A drift of the tires from Mott on the colder left sides.
I said those cold tires definitely going to bite you in the butt. We give them an opportunity to go watch them and take a while to get heat in them. Sally Mott, though, wasting no time to turn the heat up in this battle for the lead. Side by side down the straightaway. Soto's going to be on the outside when they get into the corner. He's able to clear Mott, and I don't know if he's going to be able to.
They're going to try it, though. Keep it dead even once again for turn 10A. Clear for B for Soto. Crossover for Mott. Has the better corner exit. 3 minutes to work with.
Great crossover move.
About 3 laps to work with.
That great crossover move. In 3 minutes, 3 laps. This all depends when they take the white flag. It's going to be very close. Sometimes we don't even get a white flag. Might just get it straight up at the checkered flag. 3 minutes at the line, about a minute and a half lap. So at least 2 laps remaining. That's the thing, is they don't know exactly when they're going to get that last lap. So you don't know when you want to be in that position there. That's Sally Mott, and right now in second, you're going to have the draft on the straightaway.
Looking from above Sally Mott's helmet. Now it's estimated to potentially be the white flag when they reach the line. Mott a little bit deeper into the corner to try and close it up.
They're going to have the run down the straightaway here, get the momentum, build the momentum, and set up a great passing opportunity. Almost practicing like it's like the last lap. That's what you want to do on these straightaways. When they're getting there in the final window, they know it's not going to cost anything. You're able to get a lead or maybe force Joshua Soto into a mistake. That is fantastic.
Very fantastic. And now, looking for a fantastical run is Mott. Mott gets to the door, gets alongside Soto. Taking the point down the straightaway, coming up to what's likely going to be your white flag coming up here.
They gotta watch the flag, man. Under 2 minutes left now in the bank. Mott left side dips him in the grass. Joshua Soto there hanging on for a second. He's gonna have a little bit of a run here out of the corner if he's able to hang on to it. See what flag the flagman's holding, if he's holding a flag at all. White flag in the air.
Final time around. Mott inside. Soto right now trying to work from his left side. Now looking to size it up, wait for the straightaway. Seems to be the plan.
Yeah, not really pushing the issue too yet. He's within the reach. He's going to get the draft. He's going to get a ton draft too. So just within that half second, don't fall out of that half second bubble. He's pretty close, but he's gaining now.
Lost some time of the S's. Nearly cut through the S's, in fact. Soto trying to go full Soto mode. Mott way to the grass, way to the rumble, strips through the sand.
I expect a little bit of a zig and a little bit of a zag here from Mott, playing the defense, playing the snake game, try and break that draft. Runs a great line, builds some great momentum here, trying to pull away from Joshua Soto. He's going to have to draft down the straightaway, running an even line of Mott as he can. And here comes the draft, the final big opportunity for Joshua Soto.
And he built enough draft to be able to take this race lead. It's within 3 car lanes. Right now, within 2 car lanes. Soto closes within a car length. Soto builds it to the right. Mott to the left. Side by side. This for the win. Earlier on the break, Soto makes contact with Mott. Tries to rub the bumper. Mott able to hold on. Coming to the checker flag. It'll be Sally Mott taking the win. She gets the edge over Soto at the very edge.
Very, very line. It came down to the last second. I'm not going to lie, JP. I thought you almost caught it too early. Soto fought hard and he fought proud. Didn't play any dirty tactics. He tried to fight clean for that one, and he did. But unfortunately, Sally Mott getting one spot and route to her first career victory here in the Team WWF, the Team Wings and Wheels Thursday Night Thunder League presented by GGT Energy Solutions.
So both drivers already finishing up their celebrations. We'll take a step aside. Post-race coverage coming up. You're watching Maconi Entertainment from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to Maconi Entertainment for post-race coverage for Wings and tonight. Sally Mott taking the win. She gets it over Soto and Watson. Joseph Burns took part in practice but did not take part in the race itself. So, Braden, your thoughts on tonight as that leaves us with 2 races left to go?
And looking at the stat line, Deacon Greenfield, they're second in points, 600 gap deficit. Joshua Soto. Soto there gets that second place run and builds a huge run. But Sally Mott, only a handful of races for her this season and up to fifth in points. She's making a little bit of a late charge there. And I think it's going to be too late, obviously, to get a win. But I think we have a couple of our podium finishers standing on by.
Yes, indeed. We are now joined by Joshua Soto. He's with you.
Joshua Soto, you sat there on the pole in the front row. Although it took a while to finally lead a lap, you led 12 in the night, but unfortunately, you bring it home second. Tell us about your race.
Oh yeah, it was a great race. It was a nice fighting with Sally and James. Yeah, coming into the last lap, I broke a little bit too early and wasn't able to get the switchback that I wanted to. But yeah, it was a it was a really fun race.
Yeah, we saw that last lap battle there. Talk us through about preparing for that dive. You knew taking the white flag, you were the car second in line. You knew we were going to have that drafting opportunity. And tell us about, setting that up, knowing, hey, am I going to send it deep? Am I going to wait for the draft? Am I going to try to get her through the S's, or what the game plan there was?
The game plan was, yeah, it was definitely to try to use the draft going down the back straight towards that turn. I was a little bit too far away. I had made a mistake going into 3 on that lap, which had kind of made a significant gap. But coming up into the turn, I was going to try to go around the outside. I realized that I didn't have enough speed going into that corner, so I just decided to switch it up and do a switchback. But by the time the positioning of the cars, it didn't allow me to. So yeah. That's pretty much what happened for me.
Well, definitely a hard-fought finish and a hard-fought race the entire way. Very few mistakes from either one of you, and you guys are basically side by side for all 50 minutes. Anybody want to thank en route to the second place run here tonight?
Oh yeah, I want to thank Wings and Wheels in the Wings and Wheels series. I want to thank Maconi Entertainment for the broadcasting, Jeff Maconi, and also I want to thank everybody that's involved in the series. I want to thank my competitors, Salamah James, and yeah, thank you. Oh, and also GGT.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and thank you for putting on a great show as always.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Joshua Soto bring home his multiple, I don't even know how many podiums now at this point, but it's been a lot of them.
Sally Mott also now joining in. Sally, how are you feeling about the win here tonight after some intense fighting with Joshua?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
How are you feeling about the win tonight, especially after what was some intense fighting with you and Soto?
Oh yeah, that was really fun. I mean, we got to exchange the lead back and forth like a few times a lap. So pretty good training for Petite Le Mans coming up. But yeah, pretty excited.
Let's say, how are you feeling about the real world race coming up in about a week's time to enter the final stages of that season in the MX-5s?
I am feeling pretty prepared. I did this race last year as my first MX-5 Cup race ever. So I think I'm coming into this event a lot more prepared with the whole season under my belt, all the good stuff. So I'm really excited. I think it'll be a good weekend. I really like the track. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of preparation, so I think it should be good.
Now, when it comes to this series, I mean, while Watkins Glen is what's going to be on the other side of that race, your thoughts on the Glen for the penultimate race of this series campaign?
I really like the Glen. I've never driven it in real life, but on iRacing, it's pretty fun for me. So I'm looking forward to that event. I think it should be a good one to have a few laps in the MX-5 Cup car there as well.
Any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
I would like to thank my dad, actually. He dislocated his shoulder recently, and he's doing his best to support me right now. So I'd like to thank him.
Congratulations once again on the win tonight here, Sally.
Thank you.
Sally Mott gets the job done tonight. I'd like to thank the top two for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. As mentioned, the next time out for this series is Watkins Glen. That'll be October the 17th, and 8 p.m. start time. Be sure to tune in here on Maconi Entertainment. On that note, it's time to say goodbye. Call the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Brandon Laster. Robert Hill Jr. was producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and we hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.